Krunchy. Stays crunchy. And milk.
I need y'all to know this 2 Dan episodes straight because Dan wasn't here last week. Where he say something so out of pocket in a good way that I'm like, oh nigga, you can't give that away for free.
It's just me talking. I'm sorry.
Baby, you're good. You're good at what you do. I'm sorry. Your conversations in the podcast are just sorry, man. You've been at the game for too long. It's set you up for success.
It's how I think to describe things, and I think it's funny because it's sometimes borderlines on inappropriate. So, but it's well-intentioned inappropriateness.
Simple factual statement. Here I am. I'm talking about how at this point it's going to take white folk going out in the streets and protesting because black folk can't do it this time, y'all. Simply can't. Sorry, don't depend on us to show up at the situation because we ain't getting under. They want us to pop off to put it all on the martial law. We ain't got you this time, baby. You got to do it yourself. Y'all got to go out and fight it this time. Sorry.
Yeah. So I asked T what he was talking about, and he's just there's a lot of shit going on. I'm like, I know there's been a lot of shit going on, but the main thing that I've heard about was the raids that had popped up, especially because they had celebrity guest hosts like Dr. Phil, and hey, I didn't understand it, but I'm like, this is America, it makes sense. But so I have us at a work outing today. We have we work from home in our current roles, and so because we kind of lose that connectivity, not seeing our coworkers in person all the time, they get us together every couple months to kind of do a little the little certificate awards, hey, you did this thing really good last month, and yada yada yada, and they let us pick merchandise for the company we work for. And today they took us to a Mexican restaurant, which is right by my house. It was sweet. I only had a 4-minute drive.
Nice. And
I've only eaten there once before. It was a month and a half ago because it used to be a sushi restaurant, I guess. Mm-hmm. And when I ate it that night, it was fine. Normal Mexican restaurant type fare.
Yeah.
And when I got it today, obviously it was on the company dime, and I hadn't really eaten much today. And I knew that by the time I got my food, I wasn't probably going to eat again today at all anyway. So I kind of double dipped on food order where I ordered their expensive $24 Mexican steak that came with shrimp and grilled onions and mushrooms and cheese, and came with a side of rice and beans and lettuce and guacamole and shit. But then I also ordered 3 ground beef tacos with cheese and lettuce. And I was expecting, I've had some pretty solid ground beef tacos from Mexican restaurants before. And when these came, they looked good. But then I took a bite and it was just they tasted like ice raids. There was no flavor to them. It was the person who would know what to do wasn't there anymore.
Oh
it tasted like a fucking Carl had made it.
Oh man, this is what happened when y'all seeing Guadalupe running by trying to fucking go up in the restaurant where she makes a living taking good care of her fucking family. It tastes like ice raids. It's funny. It's your show title. Deal with it. And I think people will see that. I think people will see it and laugh. People who understand will understand because they know what it is, what that means. It's wild on these streets.
I swear to God. And the thing about it too was I vouched for the place because when they set up the meeting and set out the invites and everything, I knew what it was. I was and I spoke up and went, I was oh, I've eaten there. It's good. And then when I was eating it today, I was like, damn, if I would have known this was going to happen, I don't know if I would have spoke up.
I could have kept quiet. Damn, it's crazy, y'all. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you this, the chips and salsa they give you at the front, they were pretty generous with the chips and salsa. I'm not going to knock them for that. They were passing them shits out they were going out of style. They had excess stock they had to get rid of. But I would tell you this, there was nigh a grain of salt on any of them chips out of 4 baskets that I had chips out of. I didn't see a fucking speck of salt on any of them bitches.
They seasoning like the British out here, man. That's fucking crazy.
Thoughts and prayers was all that was in that food. Holy shit.
That's your alternate title, seasoned with thoughts and prayers. That is so you know how we've been told there's a problem at the border, and this whole time how they should go do something at the border, and then instead of doing that, all of a sudden this man just started sending ICE raids into Democratic-leaning cities all across the country. It's really interesting how he did that, and just kept like it was saying I'm telling you right now, if your city voted blue, and most cities do vote blue, you have had a visit from ICE. In my little local suburb, I've had a visit from ICE in my looks. We got a bunch of Mexican restaurants here, like multiple, and they've been coming through, sliding through on attack. I was like,
oh man, I saw like one of those foodie Instagram videos for a place yesterday.
Yeah,
it's called Empanadas. And I was like, oh man, this place looks really good. And I sent it to my buddy who like I share that kind of shit with.
Yeah,
and he wrote back to me. He goes, oh, I heard this place is only open part of the time now because a lot of the employees won't come because they're afraid of ICE raids. And I've heard that about other places too.
Yeah, and not just Latin places. It's every kind of place. Every restaurant you bang with that might have people, immigrants, working there. They're probably thinking twice about coming to work, and this is what you end up with. And like I said, I've watched videos pop up from people who are like, I can't get anybody to come work for my construction company. It is not quite farming season yet, but it's coming soon. And when you have no one who can pick your fucking crops, what the fuck you gonna do then? Watch. I'm saying, watch how it all goes down. And just again, it's the setup.
People think the price of eggs is bad. Wait until you see the price of produce.
Yeah, faux show. So,
that 99-cent head of lettuce about to be $7.99.
Man, we about to get so fucked in this country because motherfuckers was like, because they were lied to. It's like, I'm not trying to say people were. The reality of it is these people were lied to over and over again, and led down a path to believe that it's worse off than they thought it was, and not understanding how much is done by these people that they want to call illegals. But the reality of it is these are just immigrants trying to make a way out of no way. And you've been lied to. Of course, you were told this whole time that those are people that's costing you your jobs and your money, but they gone now. And where your jobs and your money at? There you go. That's all I'm saying, people. I've been trying to avoid politics like a motherfucker. Like I've had to stop listening to my podcast because it's not all they talk about, but they talk about it so much that I'm just like, I need a break. But here I am doing it on my own damn show.
But hey, it ain't gonna be the whole show. It's just a jokey food opening with some context. That's all.
With some context. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to it. Let me get to it. I got some lyrics out here for you. The reason I chose these lyrics is because this song was produced by one Irv Gotti. May he rest easy. Irv Gotti left us yesterday. Massive stroke. And,
really? The dude who was shagging Ashanti back in the day?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. Founder of Murder Inc.
I was not aware.
Producer of so many things, including, if you remember What's Love, Fat Joe, Irv Gotti. So, yeah, Irv Gotti passed away yesterday, man. Massive stroke. 54, far too young. Far too young. And so that's why I chose these lyrics here. And let's get to that. While I'm watching every nigga watching me closely, my shit is butter for the bread, they want to toast me. I keep my head, both of them, where they supposed to be. Hoes will get you sidetracked, then clap from close feet. I don't sleep, I'm tired. I feel wired like codeine these days. A brother gotta admire me from 4 fiends away. My pain, wish it was quick to see. From selling cane till brains was fried to a fricassee. Can't lie, at the time it never bothered me. At the bar getting my thug on properly. My squad and me lack of respect for authority. Laughing hard, happy to be escaping poverty. However brief, I know this game got valleys and peaks. Expectations for dips, for precipitation, we stack chips hardly. The youth I used to be soon see a million. No more Big Willie, my game is grown. Prefer you call me William. Illin for revenues, Rayful Edmond like Channel 7 News. Round 7 Jews, head dead in the mic, forgetting all I ever knew. Convenient amnesia. I suggest you call my lawyer. I know the procedure. Lock my body, can't trap my mind. easily explain why we adapt to crime. I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's how we on it. Live at the main event. I bet a trip to Maui on it. Presidential suites, my residential for the weekend. Confidentially speaking in code since I sent you peeking. The NSX rental. Don't be fooled. My game is mental. We both out of town, dog. What you trying to get into? Viva, Las Vegas. See you later at the crap tables. Meet me by the one that starts the G up. This way, no fraud. Willie's representing gambling. They re-up. Presenting gambling. They re-up. And we can have a pleasant time sipping margaritas. Chill. Mm-hmm. Can I live? Welcome to it's episode 564. And we have the power of sheriffs. I'm your host, Table 713, joined by my other host, the eBay Emperor, Lunchbox 2099.
Man, eBay Emperor. Whew, actually, now that you mentioned that, I do have something I have to pack up and take to the post office.
I'll be knowing.
Well, the funny thing about that, too, is I'd plan to take all that shit down because a lot of it had been up there for a year plus and had no sales. Yeah. So I was going to clear out and kind of start anew. But so I took half of it down and boxed it up behind me to donate.
Yeah. But
I never got around doing the rest. I'm I'll finish this up later. And you know me, I'm really bad at starting shit and then not finishing it. And so there's been a couple random ass things that have sold over the last 2 weeks where I'm all right, cool. I'd rather fucking ship it out for a couple bucks and just give it away.
Fair. I'm saying that's what's cracking. Standard fare, got a couple news stories for you. Box will tell you what's going on in his life. I don't really think there's much going on in my world that requires conversation, but who knows? If something pops up, I'll tell you about it. Then some Amateur Assholes, tell you about our entertainment for the week, and then we'll be on our merry way. It's all good, people. Let me snag this screen over here so I can, kind of look at the camera while I'm reading you stories. Got you two news stories, both great state of Ohio associated. I put this one first, but I'm gonna read this other one first because it's a little political, a little on the sad side. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna knock this one out. Then we'll read the other one, which I need Box's thoughts on. So he can give you his thoughts on this one as well, but still. Ohio Capitol Journal, Megan Hearing on the byline. There's a lot of fear out there. Transgender Ohio in response to Trump's two-sex executive order. I need you to know something. I get it. He signed his paperwork, so I guess you can pretend it matters. But trans people existed before this man. Trans people exist after this man. People exist, and they will exist. And him saying they don't exist does not make them not exist. It's like him saying the sun ain't there. Don't mean the sun ain't there. He's just a knucklehead. Don't fall for his bullshit. Anyway, let's read the article. Transgender Ohioans are grappling with confusion, chaos, and fear in the weeks following President Donald Trump's executive order saying there are only two sexes. Trans folks have always been here, and see what I just said, and transgender communities cannot be erased by the flick of a pen, said Dwayne Seward. Man, do I even need to read at this point? I just said what Dwayne said, but you know what I'm saying? Here you go. Executive Director of Equality Ohio. However, the chaos that's been created by this has definitely caused severe harm to transgender communities to the extent that families are planning to leave the state or the country, and people are talking about detransitioning, which will cause major psychological trauma. I am so focused on getting my kid out of state as soon as he graduates. Just want y'all to know that. On Trump's first day in office on January 20th, he signed an executive order saying the U.S. government will only recognize two sexes, male and female. Good job, bro. That's really not how that works. In fact, anyway, don't get me started. These sexes are not changeable and are grounded in fundamental and incontrovertible reality, according to Trump's executive order. Gender ideology is internally inconsistent and it diminishes sex as an identifiable or useful category, but nevertheless maintains that it's possible for a person to be born in the wrong sex body. Dara Atkinson, executive director of Trans Ohio, called Trump's executive order propaganda. The laws haven't changed, the policies have not officially been changed, but we are seeing in some places both anticipatory and preemptive compliance with potential policies that can be enacted. And that is doing some real harm. But it's also what is causing so much confusion right now, Atkinson said. The State Department has stopped issuing passports with X gender markers and has suspended processing all applications from Americans looking to update their passports with a new gender marker. The executive order does not apply retroactively to current passports. Some transgender folks who are trying to get a passport currently or make changes to their passport are having a hard time with that, Atkinson said. For people who have applied for one and haven't received it back yet, we don't know what that process looks like because it's unprecedented, and we're just figuring it out. Crowdsourcing information with everyone across the state and national partners, and wishing we had more concrete answers for folks. Stewart has seen an increase in people who have been contacting Equality Ohio's legal clinic due to issues they are having with passports and changing their ID. The preemptive compliance that is happening from various agencies around these executive orders is very troubling and dangerous, Stewart said. We're seeing some trans folks have reported that their passports or IDs have been confiscated. The Trump administration is fostering an environment that is unsafe for transgender people to exist, Stewart said. They're trying to legislate trans folks out of existence, but trans folks have always existed, Stewart said. The Trevor Project saw a 33% increase in volume of phone calls, text messages, and chats to their crisis line on Inauguration Day, January 20th, and a 46% increase on January 21st compared to a typical daily rate weeks prior. There's a lot of fear out there, and justifiably so. So we're just trying to help people, though, through what is based off of stuff that is actually happening versus what they're being told could happen in the future, Atkinson said. Atkinson said their executive order also excludes intersex people who are individually born with variations in their sex characteristics that do not fit typical binary definitions of male or female. It's estimated that up to 1.7% of the population has an intersex trait, according to the Center for American Progress. Intersex people are very real, concretely exist as well, Atkinson said. It's you know what? I read it to you. I gave you my spiel about it. I'm gonna leave it right there. Y'all know what it is. This one, Box, I need your input on. Sources: Cavaliers land for DeAndre Hunter from Hawks. Jamal Collier, this is from ESPN. The Atlanta Hawks are trading for DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Karis LeVert and George Niang. 3 second-round picks and 2 swaps, according sources told ESPN's Shams. I don't know how to say
Sharania.
Sharania, thank you. Hunter, 27, is having a career high in his 6th season in the NBA, averaging highs in points, 19, 3-point attempts, 6.7, and 3-point percentage, 39.3. He has a larger role in Atlanta's offense and responded well to the extra scoring responsibility, fulfilling some of the promise he had as a top 5 pick in the 2019 draft. Hunter joins the Cavaliers team that sits atop the Eastern Conference and was looking to add more size on the wing. LeVert, 30, was having a strong season in Cleveland, averaging 10.2 points and shooting 40.5% from 3 off the bench, but at 6'6", was giving up some size as a small forward. Hunter has been on one of the best scorers off the bench in the NBA this season. His 18 20-point games off the bench are the most in the NBA, and he leads the league with 18.9 points off the bench. Hunter, in his 2nd season of a 4-year, $90 million extension he signed with the Hawks in 2023, he isn't set to hit unrestricted free agency until summer of 2027. Meanwhile, LeVert is in the final year of his deal. Oh, there we go. That made it make sense for me. With Hunter, the Cavs add another catch-and-shoot 3-point shooter to space the floor with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. The Cavs already shoot 40.1% on catch-and-shoot 3-pointers, the best mark in the NBA per second spectrum, and Hunter's 2.1 catch-and-shoot threes per game ranks 13th in the NBA. In 2 losses to the Celtics, the Cavs struggled to capitalize on the opportunities, going 4 for 12 and 4 for 19. The losses on November 19th and February 4th, respectively. Their fewest makes in a game this season. Atlanta has struggled recently after star forward Jalen Johnson went out with an injury that will keep him out for the rest of the season. The Hawks have dropped 9 of their last 10 games, and they have started to begin rebuilding their roster. LeVert spent 4 seasons with the Cavs after being acquired in a trade from the Brooklyn Nets and carved out a role in Cleveland's sixth man, averaging 12.5 points, 4.3 assists on 43% shooting in 199 games.
Some of that was factually inaccurate.
Oh, okay.
Karis LeVert was originally traded from the Brooklyn Nets, but he was traded to the Indiana Pacers. I think he was there for half a season before he was traded to Cleveland.
There you go. Niang was in his 2nd season with the Cavs and has appeared in all 51 games for the Cleveland this season. Atlanta made another couple of moves before the Thursday deadline, sending Bogdan Bogdanovic. Really? That's his dude's name?
Yep.
Double B. Bog. And the 3rd and 3 second-round picks to the Clippers for guards. Oh, right on. For Terrace Man and Bones Highland, according to say it again, Char what?
Sharania.
Sharania. We're gonna commit that, people. They are also because that's the new Woes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to remember that. You get those Sharania. I don't want to say bombs, because.
I mean, whatever. If it was Woj bombs, it's Sharania bombs, and we're going to do that. They are also sending veteran center Cody.
Is that one of those cases where it's like it's considered racist to not pass it on?
Facts. It would be. It'd feel uncomfortable if what Sharania ain't allowed to have bombs. Sharania, what is that? Well, we'll look at this heritage story. The rest of this is just talking about the Hawks shit, and I don't care about the Hawks part of this deal. I only care about the Cavaliers part of this deal. Dan, is this a good trade for the Cavaliers? Are you appreciative of it? Are you thinking I can fuck with this, or is it a problem?
So, the reason I missed the show last week was because I went to the Cavs Hawks game here in Cleveland. One of my friends is an Atlanta Hawks fan, and he works for a company who has season tickets in the fifth row. So I actually got to watch the entire game up close and personal. And that particular night, DeAndre Hunter was killing us on the inside, but he couldn't hit the fucking broadside of the barn from three-point land. I think he was like over 3 for the game. But dude is fucking huge. Obviously, like, that game he didn't shoot well from 3, but like his season stats are pretty good. When my buddy was trying to talk to me about it when we were playing Call of Duty the other night, when the rumors were kind of like crept back up, because his name popped up in trade rumors. I want to say it was last season too, or it might have been in the off season, but like his name's come up before tied to the Cavs. And when he brought it up, I was just kind of like, it depends. Like, I think he'd be a good get, but like, I wasn't sure on what they would have had to have given up, because I didn't honestly understand what Atlanta was looking for or why they wanted to dump him. I'm guessing that like they just want to make more space for their number 1 pick, Ray Shea. And Dyson Daniels was kind of a pleasant surprise from them in the DeJounte Murray trade. They've got, I want to say Okfangu or whatever they got playing at center now instead of Clint Capella. So like, and then Jalen Johnson's obviously their power forward of the future, but it seems like they're teetering on like rebuild or not. And like DeAndre Hunter was playing well for them as a 6th man. So I guess maybe they just saw it as an opportunity where like they have this rookie that's playing well now, and to give him more time and to come off that money so they can maybe allocate resources somewhere else. Cause Hunter's under contract for 2 more years after this. I think they're like 22 and 23 million a season or something like that. But like when the trade was announced, I saw what was gone. I understand that like as an outsider who's not in an NBA locker room, I don't understand the dynamic that some of these players have amongst each other as far as team camaraderie is concerned. But from what I've heard from people who like reporters and stuff that are around the teams more closely, they talk about how well George Niang was liked in the locker room as a team guy. And, obviously Karis LeVert is an Ohio kid and he's been here for a few years. So there's like that personal attachment. But at the same time, George Niang was a fucking backup, undersized big man who fouled excessively for a man who only played most 20 minutes a game. Extremely streaky outside shooter who shrunk in the playoffs for us last year when it mattered. Karis LeVert is a middling-sized tweener guard who is an extremely streaky three-point shooter who's admittedly having the best season of his career from 3, but historically extremely streaky. And while he does have a pretty decent handle, his ability to finish at the rim in traffic is very poor. So while I wasn't wanting necessarily to give away anybody, when I saw that it was the 2 of them, like I personally like, and this isn't I did not enjoy watching George Niang play basketball the majority of the time. I will say that much. And I understand how streaky Karis LeVert is. To be able to turn the two of those players and second-round picks, which are basically whatever, like they're just, passed around money between NBA teams. Like they're lottery tickets,
Yeah.
And the swaps, like those swaps that Atlanta got for the first-round picks, those are going to be swaps on swaps. Those picks are already being swapped. I think Phoenix has those picks now because we traded them to Utah for Donovan Mitchell. Then they flipped them to Phoenix because they realized they're not going to be worth shit. And so, basically, I think it was a week or two ago, Phoenix traded their 2031 unprotected first-round pick to Utah for 3 junky first-round picks just so that they could unlock the ability to trade first-round picks in other years.
Yeah.
2 of those picks were – I'm pretty sure it was 2 picks. 2 of those picks were coming from the Cavs trade from Mitchell. So, Utah, when they traded us Donovan Mitchell, thought for sure that after 2 years he was going to leave and that we were going to be trash and that those picks would be incredible.
Yeah.
And by them trading those picks, they admit that Cleveland won the trade. We're going to be good for a long time. Those picks aren't worth shit. So they flipped them to Phoenix for a lottery ticket 6 years from now. And now, so those swaps that we have with Utah,
yeah,
Atlanta has the right, once Utah decides if they're going to swap or not, Atlanta can then come after and choose whatever result happened and decide if they want to swap or not. Okay. So the Cleveland doesn't even lose the ability to make a pick. It's just it may end up being slightly lower, but probably not. So that was just basically look, we'll just throw this out and make you guys, feel better. It's like the MLB trade where you send someone shitty somewhere and they're like, we'll give you $250K. Yeah, sure, buddy. You can swap those picks. You pass it around. It was really just Karis LeVert, Niang, and 3 second-rounders. And for a guy who's 6'8", can catch and shoot threes, has the ability to play all right defense, which is as a wing defender is what we really needed.
Yeah. And
he's under team control for 2 more years after this. Yeah. So now, and he's only 27 years old. So the oldest player on the Cavs starting 5 is Donovan Mitchell, who's 28.
Wow.
Darius Garland, I think, is 25. Mobley's 23. Jared Allen's 26. And DeAndre Hunter's 27. So the Cavs starting 5, if everything goes well, can easily play together for the next 5-6 years. Okay. Minimum, if they all stay together. Darius Garland signed, I think, for 3 or 4 more years. Donovan Mitchell's under contract for 2 more years after this. Evan Mobley's under contract for 7 years. Jared Allen's under contract for 4 more years. The Cavs are locked in. They have their starting 5 set for the next 2 years minimum. And then they have a pretty solid bench when you have Max Strus coming off the bench, who's under contract for another year, or 2 more years after this, actually. And then they're probably going to end up doing their best to try and re-sign Ty Jerome. Yeah. Who's really come on this year, but it's gonna be tough because he's playing so well that another team might try and steal him.
Yeah.
But there's 2 things in our favor. One, he seems to really enjoy his time here. He has a good role, playing well for us. And secondly, who happens to be his best friend? Oh, but the guy we traded for today, DeAndre Hunter. They won the national championship together on the Virginia Cavaliers in NCAA in 2019. So, his best friend is now here. That might also entice him to be hey, I want to keep winning. I want to keep winning with my best friend. Yeah, I'll take what I can get from you.
Nice.
So the Cavs will definitely have to do a little rummaging next year for a backup big man because they kind of need a backup big right now because they've been running Niang as their backup big in the second unit. So now your next backup big is Tristan Thompson because Dean Wade's hurt, who's always hurt. And so their big situation's a little dicey after the top 2, but, you can't have everything.
All right. 2 things. First, I'm going to share my screen because I want y'all to see it. You're not going to be able to hear this because I'm not running the sound currently, but I love the way it looks. Let's let this it'll start over here.
Oh, I know what this is.
I can hear it. What I need you to hear.
Right, but Definitely cannot hear that.
I know. I wish you could, because the person who filmed that video is so mad and is just screaming, fuck, like he definitely lost a parlay or something. All that shit. It was bad.
Man, I know how that goes.
So
I haven't been gambling much these last 2 weeks because I've taken some hits.
Here, let me. In fact, I'll play it on my phone. That way you can get the audio. You just saw it, people. You know it if you're watching this, but I need you to hear it because it's so hilarious.
I watched like basically from like the 6-minute mark of the first quarter all the way to the beginning of the fourth quarter yesterday.
Yeah, like
with intent. And then when the fourth quarter started, I came downstairs and I was playing Call of Duty with my buddies for a couple hours. But I had the game on my phone, so I was like playing Call of Duty. And then when I was like dead or respawn or like the game, we're waiting in the lobby or something, I was watching the game down on my phone. And so I didn't see everything with great detail until afterwards when I watched the highlights.
Yeah,
back. And I was so proud of Jared Allen for getting ejected yesterday. I didn't know he had it in him. I felt like a proud papa seeing him shove that man to the floor and then just kind of be like, yeah, I fucking did it.
That's real. All right, here, people. I need you to hear this. You can hear me. When he raises up, and you're like, you knew it from when it went out of his hands. It's one of them kind of shots. And I'm like, Cavaliers, man, I hate when we lose because I do hate when we lose.
I wasn't even sure if I was going to watch the game yesterday because I was so mad with the way the Celtics game went. Especially because, like, Evan Mobley got fucking sunned by Kristaps Porzingis, and it was hurting my heart.
We have a habit of losing this season so far in ways where it's like, you can just see it the entire time. Like in the end, like we are not going to win this game. You'll know when we are playing in a way that's like, oh, they about to don't worry, this is handled. We're gonna come back or do what we need to do, and we're gonna win this game. But you can notice when they are playing not that way. And so it's like last night I felt like even though it was a close game, I felt like they were in control the entire time. And so business got handled what's open top. You're talking about a big man. Here's what the grist on the rumor mill currently is. And I know nobody really wants this, but
oh man, I know where you're going with this.
Ben Simmons getting his Brooklyn contract brought out and possibly coming here.
I'd take him.
So would I.
The thing about it is Ben Simmons making $50 million a year wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Ben Simmons making $500K vet minimum. Sign me up all day long. I'll take a 6'9" guy who can grab 6 boards and ditch out 6-6 and play defense as a backup.
It's almost too perfect. Why not?
Yeah.
And then shit, while are we talking about it, I might as well just ask, man, that Mavs trade.
I'll be honest, like the thing about it was Dallas, I like there was a report that came out after about why they didn't get the 2031 first round pick from the Lakers. Okay. And it was kind of like the hush payment of like no one leaking that they were discussing this for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It was, they basically said like, because we weren't allowed to talk to Luka or his representatives to get assurances that he wouldn't bolt first chance he got, we weren't going to put the 2031 pick into the trade. So it was too much risk at that point. So like I once they explained it, it made sense. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it made sense.
Yeah.
The thing about it is everyone's talking about how good the Lakers are going to be now. But like him and LeBron play the same fucking position. They both don't play defense.
Well,
Austin Reeves that starts for them doesn't play defense. Rui Hachimura is like okay, but like he's not like otherworldly. Now they did trade for a center from the Hornets last night.
Yeah,
who seems like an up and comer. I haven't really seen him play much, but his stats look pretty good. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Like Anthony Davis, like is solid, but he does get hurt a lot. So it's like you're taking a risk there. But like from Dallas's perspective, I understand the thought process of like feeling kind of uneasy about committing $60 to $70 million a year for a guy who like you don't believe is doing everything he can within his powers to maintain his availability, regardless of how well he plays when he does play, and has limitations upon what he does when, like, yeah, he scores and gets rebounds, assists. I get, like, that's great, but he also, like we said, doesn't play defense. So, like, it's a lot of money to commit to someone who, like, you have questions about. And in this day and age, with like the aprons where like you get hard locked based on like your salary at certain levels and stuff on like things you can do.
Yeah,
you have to be absolutely fucking sure that the person you're giving all that money to is going to be there, because you're putting a lot of your resources on one person. So
I saw a TikTok there that basically was like, it's the new owners who basically was like, they want Dallas to build them the new stadium because they basically want to build the Las Vegas of the South, basically in and around Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And state legislator of Texas was basically was just like, nah, we ain't doing that, at least for right now. And there was like, well, there ain't no fucking point in me trying to keep this motherfucker around to pay him, because we are not gonna have what we need. We are not gonna have what we need till then, of course, force the issue on maybe a new stadium, and then the gambling that would be around that and so forth and so on. Because unless Texas say you can have gambling, can't have gambling. And Texas is a weird state where their legislator only meets like once or twice a year, unless it's an emergency session, which is so strange to me. It's like, Jesus Christ, y'all don't do anything in that state, but then they do everything. So the way it was explained was they were basically, they thought Texas would come through with them, give them basically what they wanted, which is the ability to build Las Vegas Junior in the fourth, fifth biggest television market. And if they didn't, they could have basically threatened to be like, we'll take the team to Vegas, even though the NBA would never let them take the team to Vegas, because again, they are like the fourth biggest, fifth biggest television market. But that's why they were like, fine, you know what I'm saying? No point in trying to pay this dude, because basically none of our plans are working out like they could or should. And I don't know if that's all factual. It's just a guy was explaining his thoughts on the matter, and I'm like,
I'll tell you this though, it, like, don't get me wrong, like, Luka's still gonna be fucking filthy rich.
Yeah,
but that dude lost a lot of fucking money on this trade.
Really?
Because like a lot of money. Like so he was eligible for the Supermax contract. Because he made like an all NBA team or whatever with the team that drafted him on like his second contract or something.
Okay.
So like this summer, he was eligible for like 5 years, $360 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, because he got traded to the Lakers, he no longer qualifies for that contract offer. The most he can sign is like 5 years, $240 million or something like that. Yeah. Which, like, don't get me wrong, like I said, is still a shit ton of money. But he's basically losing like $120 million off the contract.
Yeah. And
he also got traded from Texas, which has no state income tax, to California, which has a 15% state income tax. So not only did he lose $120 million off the top of the contract, now he has to pay 15% in fucking taxes to California.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got the raw end of the stick on that.
Wow, that's a crazy setup. I wonder. So he's a Nike athlete, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah. For some reason, I think he's a Nike guy. And I wonder.
Oh, actually, no, you're right. He is. And I only know that because now that I'm thinking about it, someone, when they were doing the LeBron's always wanted to play with Luka. And then one of the reports that was talking about that was like, he even tried to recruit him to his branch of the Nike, the LeBron brand, but Luka signed with the Jordan brand. So, like, yeah, you're right. He's a Nike Jordan guy.
So, I mean, you know how, well, I know, and I know but Nike has a habit of handling certain things like that in the background, like, fines or so forth and so on. They're like, don't worry, we'll take care of that. So I wonder if they might just, hook that up a little bit, what I'm saying, take care of some things that makes it at least like, all right, at least I got it taken care of on this end.
I've heard talk, though, that, like, a lot of the athlete endorsement stuff isn't what it used to be. Like right now, like basketball sale, like shoe sales, aren't what they used to be.
Well,
I think part of it is because there's a lot more competition in the market now. Like, fuck, you got New Balance running ads on TV with fucking Shohei Ohtani and stuff. Like Jamal Murray, that blonde chick from the Sparks. I forget her name.
Cameron.
Hey, I know she exists. I know where she plays, which is progress.
Cameron Bean, she is lovely. Well, hands down, I'm not going to whatever. I'm not going to deny that it's a beautiful woman, but also a hell of a player. She got injured way early in this most recent.
Oh yeah, I wasn't talking about her looks. I knew she was the second pick in the draft. I knew where she played. I just didn't remember her name, but I know who she was. And what I'm saying is, like, as far as the WNBA is concerned, that's progress. Shit, I saw a State Farm commercial last night that had Caitlin Clark in it.
Yeah, I have. It's been very fun.
I was watching the fucking the sham bombs last week when they were talking about Kelsey Plum getting traded from the Vegas Aces out to the Sparks. Yeah, and like I knew who all these people were. I was like, shit, I'm learning WNBA players. Thanks, thanks betting.
It is that has been real fun to watch. Not that one ever, but then they of course
betting and Caitlin Clark has got me knowing WNBA teams and who plays on them.
But we formally put in the paperwork to say, hey man, Cleveland wants a WNBA team. The other day,
they got denied.
I mean, hey, whatever.
Just like we didn't get the women's soccer team.
It means we're out there trying to do the do, and I'm excited that
did the WNBA team get denied? I know the women's soccer team got denied.
That WNBA thing happened. We just put the paperwork in like 2 days ago. If it got denied, that was a mighty quick denial.
Okay, no, it was the women's soccer team that we got denied.
Yeah, so I'm excited about the possibility that they look like they're trying to bring back some of the OG founding cities at least. So Detroit and Charlotte and so forth. So some of those teams that were around when the league first started. So. Association. I gotta quit calling things a league. That is an association. It's not a league. The NFL is a league. Major League Baseball is a league. Hockey is a league. But the NBA and the WNBA, the MNBA and the WNBA are associations, and they have to be respected.
Are you being technical, or is there an actual difference?
There is a difference. There is a difference in a meaning and how they run how they run is different than leagues. Honestly, how the NFL runs, it's an association as well, but we'll not get into all of that. So, it matters. Anyway, that was a whole lot of sports talk. But I'd like to say I always go to Dan with sports because I'm saying he knows his shit. And if he don't know his shit, he knows somebody who knows his shit who would have told him everything that he needs to know. And then he'll tell me. And then I know. So now I'm in the know as well. Feel me? So that's what's up with that. But now it's your time to talk. So I got to click the button. Hold on.
It's like the Wonder Years where like you got me like playing in the front yard by a white picket fence, and then like me looking lovingly into like my crush's eyes as I kiss for the first time, and then all of a sudden I'm getting on a boat to war. And then,
I thought it would involve books in some way, story time, but damn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess reading Rainbow works too.
As I get on the boat to go to war, it should not make me laugh as much as it does, but it makes me laugh every damn time.
I mean, it's what I think of when I think of like montages from, movies from back in the day. Like, because I mean, it was wartime back then. A lot of people being sent off, never seeing their loved ones again.
Yeah. Oh man, what's going on?
Now it's all just fucking Twitter wars and shit.
Story time with Lunchbox, man. What's craculating with you, bro?
So I don't imagine the person affected by this will ever hear this because I don't think they listen to our show in any capacity whatsoever. So I probably have free reign to talk about this right now. I fucked up last week, and so when I went to that Cavs game, right? I was hanging out. I went with some friends. Like, we had 6 tickets.
Okay.
And my buddy brought his daughter, And then it was like me and two of my friends, and then this guy that I've met at my own buddy's house. It's like his neighbor. He's a lawyer or whatever. I've met him a couple times, like when I've been over there for stuff, but like I wouldn't say that like we're friends or nothing. Like he's just an acquaintance. But he seems like a nice enough guy. And so the tickets we had were for obviously, like I said, like the company season tickets, which gave us access to like the lounge there where you can get like free food and stuff. But it wasn't like the corporate lounge where like it's like you can go get dinner.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, go get a burger and fries, or you can go get steak shaved off of the spit, like, and hand it to you with mashed potato. Like this was like, here's a little cardboard thing of potato wedges, or here's a nugget of chicken on top of 3 noodles with some sauce. Like, you know, that
some basic little snackadoos.
Yeah. So, I'm thankful that I had eaten about like 2 hours before I left to go to the game, because I was like, well, I'm going to get free dinner tonight. I don't need to eat. But I was like, I'll eat a little something right now and see how I feel. And thank God I did, because when I got there, I was like, this is it. But like, you know, I'm not upset, because obviously the tickets were free and the lounge was free and, you know, whatever. So like I had a couple little, but like the thing about it is the food wasn't good either. Like I was very unimpressed with the quality of the food. And then it's also crowded as fuck in there. So there's like nowhere to sit. Like I was literally like propping my water cup up on the guardrail, like hoping it didn't spill, because there was nowhere else to go. Like sit up, like we're standing next to the trash cans. But anyway, so we were standing around and, you know, chit-chatting, and I knew a piece of information that was very personal to somebody that happened about 2 months ago. And I didn't know how well known that information was amongst my group of friends. So I never brought it up in casual conversation, because I didn't know who knew and who didn't know.
Okay.
And while we were standing there, I was half listening to what was being said between two people while I was finishing up eating my food and drinking my drink. But what I did hear sounded like it was in the vein of that information that I knew. And so I went, oh, and I chimed in and I said, are you guys talking about so-and-so's so-and-so, such and such?
So-and-so's such and such. Okay.
And then it was met with a what happened? And then over the shoulder, a startling look at me of, oh no, I can't believe you just said that. So for context, because like I said, this person is most likely never going to hear this. And I don't think anyone of my friends, most of them don't even listen anymore. So, and the ones that would have listened were standing there. So I'm probably in the clear here.
Fair.
A person I know got a DUI at the end of November, which would have been the second one of their life. Let's just say this person has had talking tos and whatnot from friends and family about their habits. And so they apparently were coming home from a person's home and bumped another car at a traffic light on their route home, and got a party plate offense here in the state of Ohio, for those who know what that means.
Yeah.
And is currently working with the neighbor that was there with us, who happens to be a lawyer, is their representative in this legal matter. And apparently they treated the first incident as it's off their record or whatever, because it was statute of limitations. It was from like over 10 years ago.
Okay.
So they're treating the new offense as like a brand new thing, and basically like your no license, probation, that kind of shit. But the person who like I accidentally gave the information to,
okay.
is been friends. Yeah, Narc 2 is, you know, friends with that guy. Like they've been friends for years, and was part of the talking to that happened. And so when they found out, they were not happy because they were also, I'm pretty sure, drunk and high, or at least they were very high. I will say that they were maybe a little buzzed because they were drinking beer when we were in the lounge, but definitely high.
Okay.
And it was you could see the anger and the hurt of, or the broken trust.
Yeah.
You know, in real time. But I also felt like an asshole for opening my mouth because I wasn't supposed to know. Because I wasn't involved. I found out through another source for reasons. And
source there amongst these basketball aficionados. No, then who fuck?
But like, you know,
Did you say you got I got this data point from somewhere else?
They knew how I knew as soon as they knew I knew it. Like it wasn't, you know. The thing about it though was it kind of enlightened my one buddy though on. We had all been playing poker at a friend's house like a week or two prior.
Yeah,
and that person wanted to leave, one because they were going to go somewhere the next morning out of town with some people. Yeah. And so they needed to get home to get to bed. And
the ride, eh?
They were that person's ride. And that person just would not stop playing poker, regardless of how much we were trying to get them to stop to leave. Because they were like, their driver very clearly wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And I knew why that, like, they were in that situation. I mean, part of it is like the history is there, but I knew explicitly why that person was their driver, but they didn't know that I knew at the time. So once they found out that I knew, they were like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that's why part of why I understood why you were so upset, because I knew what was going on when you didn't know that I knew.
Wow.
And now you knew that I knew. Now you know that I knew. And so now you have more of an appreciation for why I was willing to stop that poker game for you, because I knew.
Yeah.
And so I felt bad in that, like, it wasn't my information to tell so freely when I wasn't supposed to know anyway, because it is a personal thing. And then I also kind of put, like, my one buddy in a situation where now he has to answer a bunch of questions about this dude's business to other people. Mm. And, you know, like, after the game, I messaged him and I was just like, hey, thanks for taking me to the game. And I'm sorry that I said anything and you know, let the cat out of the bag. That's my bad. And he's been cool with me. Like he seems like he's okay, that, like, you know, he's still been playing Call of Duty, talks to me every day, like nothing. He said it was fine and that, you know, I was welcome and everything. So, but the other guy, let's just say he used an opportunity to make a joke that, like, only those of us that were standing there the other day would understand. I don't know if I'll be able to dig it up quite so fast, because it was in our Discord and there's been a lot of chitter chatter because of the NBA trade deadline and whatnot. But something came up, and I wonder if I can use the search feature.
It's very good on Discord. I've used it for the last couple of days. I had to go find some things.
Oh, yeah, here it is. They were talking about the Luka trade.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are like, you know, well, why did this happen? Yada, yada, yada. And then they were talking about how after Dallas had won the conference finals last year to go to the NBA finals, there was like a video of Luka in the locker room drinking a beer.
Yeah. And
one of the assistant coaches, who was Michael Finley, used to play for the Mavericks back in the day, came over to Luka and took the beer away from him.
Yeah.
Like on video. And they were like, oh, let the dude fucking celebrate. And then the other dude goes, yeah, you'd think that unless someone was with a legit drinking problem. And then my one buddy chimes in and goes, Luka is a secret alcoholic. And then the other buddy goes, that guy probably has a dozen DUIs that have never, ever been heard of. Not impossible, with a laughing emoji. And then he went into the private Facebook chat that we had started the night that we went to the game. And he wrote to us. Oh, shit, where'd it go? He wrote, some people are good about hiding their DUIs. And then my one buddy wrote, ha, 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 in all caps about 20 times. And then my one buddy who knew the information that I, accidentally, kind of like told on, sent a GIF of the guy from Abbott Elementary looking very upset. And then I sent a GIF of Ted Lasso with the yeeks.
Oh man, that is good eating. I know I understand you feel bad, so there's no changing how you feel. You feel bad about the situation. I don't think because you thought everybody was on board. That's all that was, and it turns out they weren't. So error, but not awful. I would definitely vote not the asshole where this, presented on Reddit. Just simple mistake, and I hope that person finds the help they need and can get off the sauce. But
yeah, I basically said that from a person who struggles with their own addiction issues, I can understand how difficult it is. And while my addictions will only really kind of affect me in the end, that particular addiction can be detrimental to other people depending on how, it's handled. So it's not apples to apples necessarily, but I can understand having demons that you're fighting against and trying your best and not always winning.
Yeah, for sure. So put some respect on his name off of that shit, man. That's crazy. Ooh, right. Well, that was a fun one, y'all. See, story time lunch box is always to me very interesting, but that was a particularly all right, a good morsel of tastiness. So thank you for that. I'm gonna TikTok through my brain. I put my Christmas away. It took a very long while. There's still some birthday decorations up for Vanessa's birthday. And now she's like, I want this up the whole year. I'm like, I'm not leaving this up the whole year. There's literally a thing hanging here that says happy birthday. And I'm like, I'm not leaving that up the whole year. I don't care what you say, but for right now, she can have it. They closed school today. They basically called it like 6 this morning. It was like, it's weather. And I'm like, what weather? It turns out it got warm enough to rain. And then it got cold enough to freeze all over. So my car I looked out the window. I was like, oh, yeah, it's just ice.
It was like 4 minutes before I had to get into a team meeting this morning. And I got up to use the bathroom. And as I was halfway across the basement, my fucking brothers walked into my house unannounced. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Because I'm thinking, like, one, this motherfucker should be in school. And the other one, like, shouldn't you be working right now? So, and then he goes, oh, they canceled school today because it was icy outside. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And the other one's like, oh, I'm using vacation time. I don't go back to work till Sunday. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. And he goes, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom. He goes, why is this Call of Duty on this TV right here? This doesn't look like work. I'm like, I'm working on that monitor. That's YouTube. I'm watching someone play Call of Duty while I'm working.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, mind your goddamn business.
Shut the fuck up, big stat of grown folk business. Oh my god, man. So that was just out of that was out of the blue. Like, because I'm sleeping. I was sleeping hard, and like my phone is just buzzing on the night table next to my bed. I'm like, what the fuck? And I wake up and I grab it. I'm like, and I see, of course, it says the school district's name going across. I'm like, so I play it. And the first thing they say is winter weather, and I'm like, what? And then I put the phone down, I go back to sleep. I'm like, and then they call again. No, in the middle of that, my kid texts me like, hey man, the iPad was ringing because my phone is connected to my iPad, and I think school's called off. I'm like, it is. Go back to sleep. I put the phone down. I try to go to sleep. Then they call back to correct themselves and say, it's not winter weather. It's just weather related. I'm like, I don't care. I get it. Code or something. You close school. I have taken that information to heart. Chill out with that, man. But it's just been a real. It's not. It actually hadn't been anything too terrible. It's just been a wintry winter. You know, it's what it is at this time of the year in this part of the country. So nothing too outlandish. But geez, Louise, chill, B. Just relax. But like I said, ain't nothing really cracking like that, y'all. That's just cracking in my life. You know what it is. Let me, of course, each week we head to the subreddit. No, we head to Reddit. Then take a layer deeper into the subreddit. It is called Am I the Asshole? We have a whole segment for that, and got a little clip for that too. So here you go. Let me push that. I pulled 3 bucks. I hope they are all interesting to your ears. And you let me know, or here, let me again throw this over here so I'm looking at the camera when I read it. Here are our Am I the Assholes for the week. Am I the asshole for calling my wife out on giving joint birthday presents without me there?
Yeah, you are.
Am I the asshole for snapping at my significant other for asking questions I cannot know?
Yeah, you are. Some people just like to talk.
And am I the asshole for getting high with my sister-in-law and friends?
Not at all. It's legal now, baby. Go wild.
Oh my gosh. Well, which of those would you like to hear first, third, second, whatever?
The birthday gift one. Because it seems like it's going to be some fuckery. Yeah. Like, how dare you ask a stupid ass question?
Get that a little plus. It's a little small on this particular monitor. Am I the asshole for calling my wife out on giving joint birthday presents without me there? Son's birthday today. He's 5 years old. I wasn't there this morning as stay away from home some nights due to work. Even if had slept at home, would have left for work before the kids woke. We have a party planned on Saturday, and we'll be there at dinner time tonight. I realize with an S, so this is somebody who spells realize with an S, that my wife gave my son a present this morning. She said it was a gift from us. Apparently she does this every year. I was hurt and told her so. I thought it was selfish that she couldn't wait to share his excitement. Her excuse is that it's unfair on him to make him wait. Find that ridiculous and believe he absolutely could wait. I'm reading to you just how it's laid out, y'all. Don't think I'm over here forgetting letters. Them letters just ain't there for me to give to you. I said the only reason to give it early is the selfishness of wanting to experience his joy alone without it. Am I the asshole? There's a fat little edit underneath this, but I want to just go what we've got in front of us, Box.
Like, I understand, like, where they're coming from. It seems like their heart's in the right place.
Okay.
But, like, I don't think the other person's an asshole. Like, maybe just make more of an effort to be there. You know this shit's going down.
This person is working, trying to do what they can do, so you can buy them damn presents to get to that child. Let me be there to witness the present get given. Is how I would argue this. But let's take a look at the edit. This blew up quicker than expected. I couldn't get online for the last hour, and overwhelmingly with "you're the asshole" responses. Many with some unfair assumptions. So I want to add some context in my defense. Defense spelled with a C and not an S. So again, just let you know, this comes from Canada and or England. I guess Australia is possible. I don't know how they spell shit. Although I think it won't change the general outcome. One, today is his birthday. Although we have other special plans next week, I'm taking 3 days off work, 2 of which are for a family trip, and the third is for a special day for my son. I couldn't get today off work though, and Saturday is his proper party, which I obviously will be there. I have a 1.5 hour commute each way. Hence why I don't normally see him in the morning before he gets up for school. But I normally read the bedtime stories when I'm home, and I video call every evening that I'm not home. I'm not an absentee father, and I'm not just a sperm donor. Oh well, they was talking. They was dragging my nigga in the comments.
Damn.
Second, two, forgive me. My wife has brought most of the presents, but not all of them. We tend to put things in gift bags, not wrap them. Last year, it was me that brought the main present. This year, there wasn't a main present. It was mostly a few smaller ones because the family trip mentioned in one are really his main present. I don't expect her to do all the gift shopping and give all the ideals. I do a share of it. She does more. She does have more free time than me and does more of the children than me. That's a problem of our shared life choices and not something that we can easily change. My long commute is primarily due to decisions on her part. He put one and never came with two, so there you go. It was all this or that one. Three, yes, she does this every year. But first and second birthdays are not quite the same level of conscious response. And third and fourth, I'm not sure what she gave him in the morning. As I mentioned last year, I got the main present, and that was given in the evening. I'm definitely jealous if she's giving him presents. I definitely want to be a part of the enjoyment of his birthday. I was hurt and didn't understand why he had to receive the present when I wasn't there. Yep, he's 5 years old, and every family is different. I don't remember receiving presents until the whole family was there in the evening. I thought that was normal and assumed my wife had the same thoughts. We had discussed it, and I was upset for missing out. I think if I knew that I wouldn't have reacted that way, but it was a shock, it was a shock, and I was upset. I still am jealous and have some feelings to work through. I don't like my work situation and commute, but I really don't see a way to resolve it without significant financial risk that I'm not willing to take in this climate. So we'll have to suck it up. I will have to suck up my disappointment. I call my wife selfish for getting the joy alone without discussing it first or without giving me the chance to join on a video call. I need to ask, I guess I'll take the "you're the asshole" verdict. Another edit. Too many comments to respond to and can't respond for at least a few hours so that I can spend time with my son on his birthday. I don't think he's an asshole. Because it just doesn't even rise to it. He's upset that she's giving a present saying this from us, but half of us ain't there, and that seems unnecessary. Why would you not wait until dinner? Why would you not do it when I'm there? That is true. Why don't us me and then I'm not there to celebrate along with you? That is jacked up. People were trying to be like, you're the asshole for making it about your feelings and not your son's. That's not what's happening here. I hate, that's when I get mad at Reddit, because they be like, I'm gonna make this about some shit that it just wasn't about. Bruh, this has been laid pretty plainly what the problem is in his mind. And that's not about him making his son's birthday about his feelings. It's about him feeling some type of way on his son's birthday. There is a difference. He hasn't even involved his son in this, and they are making it out to be like he has. This man is talking to his wife, be like, hey man, what the fuck is that shit? And it don't sound like she got an answer. So I don't think he's an asshole. I think some of these comments make y'all tell you that shit. But also, on a humble or on the low or just in general, maybe if this is a thing, if this is a problem, okay, going forward, buy him something that you'll give him when you get home from work. Get something for him while you 1.5 hours away, wherever the fuck you work at. Remember we had our homeboy who lived in like Vermilion and came all the way to downtown Cleveland every day? Is that not madness?
Yeah.
I don't get it, y'all. I truly don't get it. So when people work them distances, I'm like, I'm just gonna find something closer to home. But who knows? Maybe you can't. And so, I'm not reading these comments. They just all so grumpy and whatever. Okay, here's one. Yeah, from ages 3 to 7 or 8, all I wanted was this huge ball. It wasn't your average ball you might find in the ball bin basket at Walmart. It came in a box. It was really big. And if you close your eyes, I can still smell the scent of the new ball. LMAO. LMAO. It had a very new scent to it, and I loved it. Man, what was that about? I don't know. But okay, buddy. You got it.
Bowling balls can be scented.
Do you have a scented bowling ball currently, Box?
I do not, but people on my team do.
What are the scents? What are the scent options in the bowling ball round?
Think of it like air fresheners that you can make it smell like strawberries or whatever.
Fine. I don't want a strawberry ball. That just sounds no fruit situations.
I mean, it's not like excessively overpowering. Like you kind of have to put the ball to your nose to smell it. I think it's a whole gimmick. I don't get the appeal, but I have smelled some balls. Pause.
No, we don't do that. Fuck that. You want to be a homophobe? Be a homophobe. But we don't pause out here. Fuck that. This one just seems, it doesn't seem hilarious. It's one of the ones where I have been there and I will oftentimes turn to Vanessa and be like, I'm here too. So I know what this man is going, this person. I don't know if there's a man or a woman, so it just says SO. But let's build. Am I the asshole for snapping at my significant other for asking me questions I cannot know? You watching the movie that we both were just watching for the first time? And she'll ask you some shit about like, baby, I'm here too. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Woken up at 3 a.m. by a jumpy SO telling me there's something in the attic. Get up, rub my eyes, and I check the hatch, which is closed. No ladder present below the hatch, meaning no one got in there from the hatch. I put the ladder there, check, the attic is empty. I hear something running on the roof at that point, probably a cat. Get down. SO is panicked, asking what I saw. Tell her nothing in the attic, something maybe on the roof. She wants to call the cops, and is asking 100 questions. I ask her to wait while I check it out and settle her down. I circled the house twice while shining a bright torch over the fence, over the roof. They said torch. This is just like the person who spells shit with S's and C's, y'all. They saying torch and not the flashlight. They ain't from here. Don't see.
Is Am I the asshole? Just nothing but Europeans seeking validation.
This week it seems to be that way.
We get a lot of these.
Let's see. I circled the house twice while shining a bright torch over the roof. Don't see anything there. Get inside house and explain. I went around the house twice, shined the torch on the roof. There's no one there. But I am bombarded with, who was it then? No one. Who could it have been? No one was there. What were they doing on the roof? I don't even know if someone was there. How could they have gotten up there? I don't know. How do you not know? Take a guess. I don't think anyone was there. Probably a cat running around. You need to go speak with the neighbors to see if they saw something while I'll call the cops. I am not going to wake the neighbors at 3 a.m. and you are not calling the cops. Just go to bed. No, you need to speak with the neighbors. But neighbors are spelled right, which is different than torch. You know what I'm saying? Neighbors is actually spelled correctly. So I wonder what's going on there. Because you don't know anything. Goddamn. You don't know who it was, what they were doing there, how they got up there. Listen, I don't know who was there. I cannot know this. I don't know what they were doing there. I cannot know this. I don't know how they got up there. If you want to ask hypothetically, then maybe they flew there. They parachuted off a plane and landed there. Maybe it was Spider-Man. I just don't know because I cannot know. I walked around the house and found nothing. You think me waking up the neighbor will solve the mystery even though he knows less than us? She's pissed off now, saying it was a stressful situation and that I should have been cooperative and understanding of her feeling. But instead, I was a real asshole. No matter which way I look at it, I can't think of where I went wrong. I am not in the best mood at 3 a.m.
Rational people do irrational shit and then place blame on others. This woman's in a panic, and like I get like being scared and shit, but you're being hard on this dude. Let breathe, calm the fuck down.
So it's just so goofy. Let's take a peek at the comments. Not the asshole, but I will say we heard the noise in our basement not so long ago. We thought it was maybe a possum that had gotten in and knocked something over. Nope, it was an actual human being. So I get being skittish, but yeah, her anxiety was ramping her up, and there was nothing more to do. The OP responds, "Oh wow, how did you resolve the human situation?" And the person who wrote that says, "Well, he seemed unhoused. The basement has access from the backyard, and he was either very high, drunk, or mentally ill. So he told him to get out, that he wasn't welcome, and shoot him off. Pretty much for a couple of weeks after, every tiny noise was like, is that the squatter? Now it's a joke. Hey, if one of us loses our job, we can ask the squatter to pay rent." Jesus Christ. We're so goofy. Scroll down more if I see anything. Actually, let me go refresh and see if this is just even still standing as it is. All right, no more real interesting commentary about this particular one, y'all. So, this person's not an asshole. And again, I've walked a similar walk myself, and it just makes me giggle. and she fully actually, and it's not just me, because I have talked to my brother-in-laws about this, who are all married to women of my partner's last name, and they all go through similar things. And it makes me laugh even more because it means I'm not alone in this world when things like this go down. Last one. Am I the asshole for getting high with my sister-in-law and friends? Dan, just on that? Oh, yeah, I know you already said no, but still. To start off, I, 24, hardly drink or smoke. I live with my fiance, 23 male, and his sister, 22 female. I've never gone clubbing, and I maybe drink a glass of wine on holidays. I do like weed, but don't care enough to go to the trouble to procure it. But if someone offers me a smoke, I'm down. My fiance drinks more when he does. Drinks more often and harder than I do, but it's not to the extent of having a problem. My sister-in-law's friend, 24 female, invited me to hang with them, go to the beach, and drink. I decided, why not? So we drank a bit, went to the beach, and I got super high. It's been a year since the last time I smoked, so yeah, I was having a great time. Everyone was enjoying themselves. Nothing bad happened. The sober one in our group would check on me. People were chatting with me and keeping me company. I come home, make myself some food, and go to bed. My fiance is sleeping and remains so until he leaves for work. Now I feel like a piece of shit because my fiance calls me today, asked me about last night, and is mad at me and telling me that his vision of me is tarnished in his eyes because I went out late and got high. He's saying what the fuck? He's saying those are things that ghetto people do, and that's not the kind of thing I would do, and he thought I was better than that. We've been together for 6 years. 6 years, and you're out.
That's the guy who signed the Dare Pledge and is fucking sticking to it.
Hold on, let's do some math here. 24 minus 6. I know you can do the math in your head, but I can't. They've been together since seriously. I hardly go out. I feel hurt by his judgment. He said I'm very easy to peer pressure, and that's why he's disappointed in me. I've never been opposed to smoking weed, and he knows that. But it's seemingly judging me for smoking when I had an opportunity. I'm not someone who gets stoned often, and I wouldn't want to be, to be honest. It's just hurtful that he feels I can't be trusted with myself, and it's as if he views me as lesser because of last night. Am I the asshole for getting high with my sister-in-law and friends? Let me tell you something. It's been a long time since I had to pull this one out the hat, but you need to leave this man immediately, if not sooner. Anybody who come at you talking about you are ghetto for real, because you went and got a little chiba and he a little drunk, can fuck right the fuck off.
In the ghetto.
Somebody said, not the asshole, and then put in quotes, ghetto people, 3 question marks. And then the OP responds, low key, it feels loaded because he's white and his sister's white and all of her friends and I are people of color.
Oh, man. Yeah, that guy needs a talking to.
Next comment says, not low key, babe, high key. He used that term for a reason. Did he also paint his sister in the same ghetto brush? And the OP responds, yes, because she hangs out with them. He talked about not liking her friends. And then somebody responds to that and says, dude is high-key racist. Get those blinders off, girl. And then somebody responds to that and says, don't fuck racists, don't date racists, don't give time of day to racists. Your boyfriend is racist. He needs to become your ex just as soon as look. I said it before I even read these comments. I was like, when someone there's a way people can be, I guess, judgmental. But there's a tone when you start throwing little sprinkles of little bullshit on top of your concept. And that shit right there did a lot of heavy lifting. And you've been with this person since you was a teenager. It's probably time to move on. And not fuck with that dude no more. Woof. And no, of course you're not the asshole. God, go enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself some Mary Jane or a wine, a beverage, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You smoke like. Oh, I looked it up. My man, Sham. Goddamn. Sharania is from Chicago, but he's Pakistan. He was born to Pakistani Islami Muslim parents who immigrated to the United States in the 80s. And he is like Chicago. Like he went to Wilmette and so forth. So he went to, he and studied at Loyola. So that motherfucker was Chicago down. And so put some respect on my man's name. And he can drop, his bombs.
Bombs over Baghdad.
Well, no, because then that's a whole different country. Bombs over.
Hey, are you going to put limitations on where this man can drop his bombs?
Yes, because I don't want him dropping over Baghdad because that's like a whole nother country and I think a different version of Islam. So I got to narrow his shit down to basically just Pakistan, just for situations.
Woj bombs were ever reaching. Okay,
I feel like Woj bombs were basically only over Poland. They were Polish bombs.
A lot of skis.
Shams, I'm gonna get your last name locked down, but your first name is dope.
Can't we call him Sham? Can we call him Sham Wows?
I don't like that at all. Because not everything gonna be a wow. That Luca one was a wow. So I let
come on in, Sham.
You know what I'm saying? But I get down with the Shams. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up with that, man. We're the Shams. That was our Am of the Assholes for the week, y'all. I hope you enjoyed them. And like I said, feel free to, if you come across one you like on anywhere, TikTok, on Reddit or whatever, holler at your boy. You know what I'm saying? I got, look here. I go to the little situation here. Hold on. View profile. And then saved. Here's some of the ones I've come across in recent times, Box. Am I the asshole for not making my son forgive my brother after he uninvited him from his wedding? The only reason I didn't do that one is because I feel like we might have done that one in the past. Because it's old. It's like 6 months ago. This one is, am I the asshole for not getting my daughter a car after she publicly disrespected me? That one was a mission, and it's multiple ones because it's like it happens. Then there's updates to it. Turns out a whole bunch of other shit. It's crazy. So I'll be having some in the background here that's ready to go, y'all. But like I said, if y'all come post some shit, man, holler at your boy. I'm always down for the down on some Am I the Asshole, for real. And where did I put entertainment at? Where did I put my entertainment at? Entertainment this week. Boxman, what have you been entertained by over this last week or 2 weeks as it works since you weren't here last? If you watched or read.
I'll be honest, I haven't watched anything other than sports. Like, I've been playing Call of Duty. I've been not home at times. I have not watched a single television show or movie.
Hey,
well, all right, that is false. I did rewatch The Cable Guy.
Okay.
Like 2 weekends back, but other than that, I have not watched a movie or a TV show.
Is back to bowling season? Back to it?
Oh yeah, we've been back since like the week. Like, actually, we never took a week off. Like for Christmas,
you've been bowling for a while. Is what it comes down to.
Oh yeah, our team's fucking terrible.
Oh,
we're having a horrible year.
Fair. Sorry.
Yeah, way to bring that up.
I didn't bring it up to bother you. I was just wondering.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's all good. As for me, I keep a list, y'all. So, uh, Abbott Elementary has been back. I just got back to Abbott Elementary, so I've been watching that and trying to get caught up on those episodes of that show. That show is so funny, and been a real fun season this go around because our Rachel and Ross of that show finally got together at the end of last season, and you get to see how their interactions work this season, and I like that about this show currently. So it's been real fun to watch. I saw a clip of a show on TikTok, and I was like, "What the fuck is this show?" And then I find out what the show is called, and I'm like, "Where's the show available at?" The very first episode, and only the first episode, was available on Prime to watch. Basically, is an advertisement to say you need to get BritBox, and I'm like, man, that first episode was real good, and I kind of want to know what's going on with the rest of this shit. Let me go see what's going on with BritBox. BritBox has a 7-day trial, so I signed up for the 7-day trial. It ends here on this Saturday, and this show has 2 seasons and 12 episodes. So me and Vanessa are gonna finish up the rest of the show tomorrow. But we finished up the first season yesterday. It is called Avoidance. It is a little comedy. It's not really drama. It's just not. It's more funny than anything. It's slightly uncomfortable, but and it's a British show that is on iPlayer in England, which is the BBC's Netflix, I guess you want to call it. And over here, it's on BritBox, which is the same thing, just the American version of it. It's a character who is just so hyper avoidant of anything, any kind of bad things, that he just is fucking up his life by being so hyper avoidant. You know what I'm saying? So his lady is breaking up with him, and he's like, "Oh, hey man, we'll talk about it later." She goes, "No. We are breaking up. This is not talking about it later. It's going down, and we got to tell our kid we're breaking up," and so forth and so on. It's just crazy how that shit goes down. And so he ends up getting kicked out of the house, and he goes to live with his sister, who is married to a woman, and they're about to go on vacation. But he goes there to live, and his sister, who is not as avoidant as him, and is also a therapist, so she kind of knows how to deal with shit, but slightly has a bit of that same avoidance in her. Can't tell him no, and so they end up not, breaking their vacation, and her wife's mad at her about it. It's just crazy. It's a very, very, very fun and funny show. That first season was great. I very much enjoyed it, and it went from being so uncomfortable to being like, hell yeah, man. And highly recommend. Like I said, and like I said, if you can get your skate, it's 12 episodes, y'all. I don't know if it's been renewed or there's more coming, but there are only 12. You know how English shows are. They'll do it'll come back in 4 years and be like, hey, it's a fresh season of Avoidance. And so you can knock out 12, 30-minute episodes in a 7-day trial period. Worry not. Go ahead and do that for yourself. But I checked out. I was like, hey, Mom, you still got BritBox? My mom has BritBox. So if I really want to watch it, like if I just can't make it all happen, over the next couple of days, my mama got BritBox. I can get her login. It's all good. So Avoidance, very, 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 very highly recommended. Turned on the TV the other day, and I noticed on the Roku advertising, it says Great American Baking Show Celebrity Big Game Special. I'm like, bitch, what? All things Bake Off, I'm watching. So I went ahead and checked that out. It was fun. DK Metcalf, Tony Gonzalez, some guy who plays for the Jaguars, Eric somebody, I can't remember his last name, Katie Nolan, and Amy Smart were the celebrities for this. Of course, Zach Cherry and Casey Wilson are who host, and Dane Prue Leith and Paul Hollywood are judging. It was very fun. It's just a fun episode to watch, about an hour and 20, I think. So it's kind of longer than normal, but a fun watch. And like I said, Bake Off, man, I love it. I am still playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I am at chapter 13. I believe it's the last chapter. I seem to be doing some bit of a boss rush right now. I fucking hate the Japanese games do that shit where you basically I'm going to fight every boss I already fought in the game. Like, stop. No, don't do that shit. Enough of it. Stop it. Get some help. So, but that's basically where I'm at right now, where I'm slowly but surely beating up, going through all the bosses I've already fought. I am listening to, right back here, the 2024 album of the year. That's a Cowboy Carter by one Beyonce Knowles Carter. It's Well, it won album of the year for a reason. And I've been listening to it, and if you remember, it was number one on my Spotify last year as well. So I fucked with it, as you know. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's cracking with that. Also am listening to Doechii right after she won her Grammy for Best Rap Album for Alligator Bites Never Heal. Dropped a little track called Nosebleeds, and it's fire. Doechii can rap her ass off. So if you like rappity rapping, I do. Go check out Nosebleeds by Doechii. It's real dope. Also,
and I had a nosebleed tonight. So when we got back from the Mexican restaurant, I felt like I had a piece of steak stuck in my teeth. So I have one of those water picks. So I was like using the water pick to like try and get it out.
Yeah.
And when I pulled the water pick away from my mouth, I accidentally bumped the on button, and I water picked water right up into my fucking nose.
Jesus.
And it instantly caused a nosebleed.
Wow. Yeah. And like I said, these dry conditions that having the heat on, that'll get you, man.
Well, dude, those water picks have a lot of fucking force.
Yeah. No bueno. Out of nowhere, I decided I need to listen to Scumfuck Flower Boy, which is Tyler the Creator's. I got like 4 albums back, and it's normally people just call it Flower Boy, but I like giving it its whole name, and in fact, it says it on the spine, Scumfuck Flower Boy. I'll tell you right now, it's hot. So you should listen to Flower Boy by Tyler because it's a dope ass record. And so that is all I have been listening to, watching, and playing. I just got Wicked from the book Wicked from Libby. So I have not started it yet, but I have downloaded it, and so show you guys Wicked, which of course they've changed the cover of Wicked to look more like the movie. But I'm excited to listen to that book because it's on my site. It should better be there. So I'm excited to give that a listen, read situation. So that'll be fun. But I have not started yet, and I'll check in next week when we do. But there you go. That was a show, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us again next time. If you housekeeping, as it work. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. Join us over, hope you're jumping in with us here on YouTube every week and enjoying us. If you are, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. That bell is there for a reason. We do it every week, and when it pops up, you ring that bell, and here you are joining in on the good times. And of course, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so you can get down with us. It's a good shit, man. It's good times, and we enjoy it. And I think you'll like what we do. If you have not already, consider getting down with us over on Spotify and Apple Music as well, and reviewing us or rating us over there as well, because they have the apparatus for ratings and reviewing and the likes. So, if you want to join this, if you want to support the show financially, got a few bucks to toss away. Consider joining us over at Patreon. Remember, at the $5 tier, get extra content each month and early access to new shows. I have no idea what I'm giving to the patrons this month. Box, if you think of something, let me know. Got merch over at tpublic.com/users at States Crunchy Milk, all one word. Consider grabbing some SKiM and or Krunchy and or any other number of items we have available over there in any form of merchandise you are so inclined to have. tpublic.com/users States Crunchy Milk, all one word. Crunchy, of course, being spelled with a K. And feel free to give us a call, 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. You can text that. You can leave a voicemail. You can leave a voice note. All these things function. It works just like your cell phone number. It's not a cell phone number, but it works like that. And in fact, having had a up and down time with Gabriel via Starlink last week as he wrote on the show, after the fact, at some point toward the end of the show, I was like, I'm just going to call you. And I'm here to hold my phone up to it. And I was like, wait a minute. We have this Google number. I could have just called him and talked to him via that. And if ever I have anybody on the show that's having an issue with their internet being stupid, because it happens, I have to remember that you can just call them because I can just call him. So I had to remember that's a possibility, and I need to jump on that the next time. So that is a populating there. We certainly love to hear from you and hear from you. We certainly have this week. This is from Spotify, where April responded to God, it had to be 562, and said Vanessa's birthday cake came out perfect. Thank you so very much, April. I love you. I love that you comment on us and are enjoying the show. I love that you're watching the show, and I hope you are enjoying what we do over there. It's good times. Our missing man is the 216's on Tatum. I need to speak with him and see what's going on with him in regards to this program. Not that he's leaving the program, but just when and if he is ever so inclined to jump back on the mic. Because guess what? Raising babies, raising babies, and working and wifing and all these things. You know what I'm saying? Is a lot. And so it's a lot to ask somebody to be, come on, man, get on the microphone right quick. Because, you know what I'm saying, who knows? But still, I have to check in with him. Maybe I can give you guys an idea of when and if he'll return. Worry not. It's Folk, the founder of the show. It's always his show, so don't trip. That is, of course, the 216's on Lunchbox, 2099.
Accurate statement.
I try to keep it as such, sir. You know what it is. I am one of your hosts, the internet's Tay-Rail, 713. Don't make me push into traffic. We'll do this again next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.